Nearly 2 out of 3 self-made millionaires got there through a business they own, not a stock tip, not a bonus check, not an inheritance. And here's the part that surprises people. The businesses behind most of those fortunes are not apps, not agencies, not anything with a pitch deck. Independent breakdowns of small business survival rates keep turning up the same short list. Vending routes, self-storage, cleaning and maintenance services, sitting near the top for longevity, while trendy retail concepts and app-based startups quietly disappear within a few years. By the time this video ends, you'll have 6 of those unglamorous business categories. The 3-question filter one regular guy used to pick between them, and the actual month his side income finally out-earned his day job. His name is Dale. At 34, he was running the overnight shift at a regional freight warehouse, clearing $3,180 a month after taxes. His entire net worth was a paid-off Ford pickup and $612, sitting in a savings account he hadn't touched in a year. Before any of this, Dale had already burned through 3 smart ideas. He resold an online course he didn't fully understand for 2 months and made $340 total. He bought into an NFT project a coworker swore was basically guaranteed and watched it drop from $2,200 to $180. He sank savings into a fitness apparel line that still has 41 hoodies sitting in his sister's garage. Every one of those attempts had the same shape. A lot of noise up front, no clear date when money would show up, and nothing to actually touch or run once the excitement wore off. The shift happened on a slow night at work, scrolling on his phone during a break, when he came across a summary of the millionaire next door. The detail that stuck with him wasn't a headline stat. It was the observation that most people with real, quiet wealth aren't founders of anything flashy. They're plumbing company owners. They're the people who run the local dry cleaner. They're the ones who bought the storage lot nobody else wanted. Dale had spent 2 years hunting for a clever idea. This was telling him to stop being clever and start being useful in a boring way. For the next 10 months, Dale did something unusual for a guy who just lost money 3 times in a row. He stopped searching for the next opportunity and started studying business listings instead. Marketplace sites, small business brokers, forums where people quietly sell routes and storefronts to each other. 6 categories kept resurfacing over and over in completely unrelated corners of the internet. Here's where his path actually starts, and where yours might too. The first category, vending and micro markets. Dale almost wrote this off immediately. He pictured stale chip machines from his old high school. Then he looked at the newer version of the model. Breakroom micro markets in small offices and warehouses, machines with card readers, restocked twice a week. What mattered wasn't the equipment. It was the behavior. Somebody gets hungry at 2 p.m. every single day, in every building, forever. Dale found a retiring operator with 9 machines spread across 2 warehouses and a car dealership, asking $14,600 for the whole route, including inventory. He didn't have that much sitting around, so he split it. $6,000 from selling an ATV he barely used, and the rest financed by the seller over 18 months, so long as Dale kept servicing the same locations. Month 1, after restocking costs and fuel for his truck, he cleared $612. Not life-changing, but it was $612 that showed up without asking his manager for another shift. By month 7, after swapping out 3 slow-selling machines and adding one to a busy gym down the street, that same route was clearing $1,940 a month. The second category, self-storage. While driving his vending route, Dale noticed something odd. The storage facility next to the dealership always had a line of cars at the gate on weekends, and it never seemed to get any emptier. He started reading about why. People don't like getting rid of things. Once a unit gets a lock on it, the owner keeps paying, month after month, long after they meant to clean it out. Dale didn't have the capital to buy a facility outright, so he partnered instead. A local landowner had a half-acre behind his auto shop and no interest in running day-to-day operations. Dale put up 28% of the construction cost using the small equity line he'd built from the vending route and took over all the leasing, the software, and tenant screening. The first batch of 19 units filled slower than he expected. By month 8, 14 were rented at an average of $121 a month. After his share of debt service and shared costs, Dale's monthly take settled at roughly $1,280. Combined with vending, his side income had crossed $3,200, close to matching his warehouse paycheck without adding a single hour to his week. The third category, pressure washing and exterior cleaning. This one came from a conversation, not a spreadsheet. A guy at Dale's gym ran a one-truck pressure washing operation on weekends and mentioned he was turning down work because he couldn't keep up. Dale looked into it and found the same pattern from the other two businesses hiding inside a completely different industry. Driveways, sidewalks, and building exteriors get dirty on a schedule nobody controls, and homeowners rarely negotiate over a $180 cleaning job the way they'd negotiate over a $3,000 renovation. Dale bought a used trailer rig with a commercial-grade pressure washer for $4,300, ran it himself on weekends for the first 4 months, then hired a part-time operator once bookings stabilized. By month 5, after paying his operator and covering fuel and equipment upkeep, the route was clearing $1,150 a month, almost entirely from repeat homeowners and 2 small property management contracts. At this point, something clicked for Dale that had nothing to do with any single business. It wasn't the machines, the units, or the trailer that mattered. It was a pattern sitting underneath all 3. Small, repeated payments, needs that never really go away, customers who come back without a reminder. Before we get to that pattern in detail and the part of Dale's story that actually crossed him into millionaire territory, here are the remaining 3 categories that kept showing up in his research. The 4th category, dumpster and junk removal services, not the giant industrial haulers, small local operators with 2 or 3 roll-off dumpsters and a pickup truck. The appeal here is almost embarrassingly simple. Every renovation, every move, every estate cleanout produces junk. Somebody wants gone fast, and they rarely shop around on price when they're standing in a garage full of debris. Case studies Dale found described operators running 3 to 5 dumpsters clearing $60,000 to $90,000 a year in revenue with almost no marketing beyond local search listings and word of mouth. The 5th category, residential pest and lawn treatment routes. Nearly every small business forum Dale read had at least one thread from someone running a pest control or lawn treatment route. The pattern was identical to vending and storage, just wearing a different uniform. Customers sign up once, get billed monthly, and rarely cancel because canceling means dealing with the actual problem again. A single route of 70 homes, paying $54 a month for basic quarterly pest treatment, generates just under $3,800 a month in gross billing from one technician and one vehicle. The 6th category, HOA and small rental property management. Not luxury towers, just handling the unglamorous work that landlords hate doing themselves. Rent collection, maintenance calls, move-in and move-out paperwork. A single manager overseeing 40 rental doors at an average fee of $85 per door brings in $3,400 a month in fees alone and that scales in a straight line as more owners hand over the keys. Dale didn't chase all six. He stuck with vending, storage, and pressure washing, three businesses that fed each other geographically and shared the same customer instincts. But studying all six taught him the real lesson faster than any single business could have. You don't need a clever idea. You need a boring one that keeps working while you're asleep. Here's the part Dale wishes someone had told him at 24 instead of 34. In The Millionaire Next Door, the authors point out that a majority of self-made millionaires are business owners, and a large share of them run companies most people would describe as unremarkable. When Dale went digging through more recent small business surveys and online communities, the same names kept coming up: pest control operators, self-storage owners, vending route holders, cleaning service owners, building steady wealth almost invisibly. He eventually boiled it down to three filters, whether he realized it at the time or not. Filter 1. The customer pays you at least once a month without you chasing them down. Storage, pest control, property management, and vending in the right spot all pass this test because they're tied to habits. Clutter piles up, bugs come back, tenants stay put. Filter 2. The buying decision is small enough that nobody deliberates over it. No one holds a family meeting to approve a $60 lawn treatment or a $2 vending snack. Small decisions mean stable, boring, repeatable income. Filter 3. Over time, you can own or control the physical thing generating the cash, the machines, the land, the trucks, the equipment. That's what separates an income stream from a real asset. That third filter is what changed everything for Dale. He stopped asking which business idea sounded exciting and started asking which boring, already profitable operation in his own town had an owner ready to sell. From there, the math did most of the talking. At 34, Dale's net worth barely existed. By 40, after 6 years of unglamorous, repetitive decisions, the picture looked completely different. He still drove a used truck. He still packed his own lunch for his warehouse shifts, right up until the year he finally quit. But the vending route, revalued at a standard earnings multiple, was worth close to $71,000. His share of the storage facility, after debt, sat around $198,000. The pressure washing operation, sold outright to his part-time operator, brought in $52,000 in a single lump sum. Add retained cash flow that he'd mostly parked in index funds and a modest 3-bedroom house, and Dale crossed 7 figures at 40 years old. No single year felt dramatic. It was 6 years of small, boring deposits compounding quietly while most people around him were still waiting for a breakout year that never came. So here's what this actually means for you, sitting there watching this instead of Dale's warehouse shift 6 years ago. First, you don't need to start at full ownership. You can ease into this. Spend one afternoon a week actually searching for boring businesses for sale near you. Not dropshipping storefronts, not digital products, but physical operations with a customer list and a history. Vending routes, storage lots, pressure washing operations, pest control routes, junk removal trucks, small property management books. Run every listing through Dale's 3 questions. Does the customer pay monthly without being chased? Is the decision small and low drama? Can you eventually own the asset generating the cash? Second, stop dismissing small numbers. $612 a month from a vending route didn't change Dale's life the week he got it. What it changed was his direction. Proof that money could show up without an extra shift. Then he stacked $1,280 from storage on top of that. Then $1,150 from pressure washing. Boring income stacks. That's the whole trick. Third, understand that boring is a filter for you personally, not just for the business. Can you handle doing the same restock, the same tenant screening call, the same driveway job week after week without needing it to feel exciting? If the answer is yes, you're already ahead of almost everyone still waiting for a clever idea to strike. So here's something you can actually do tonight. Pick one of the 6 categories that fits where you live. If you're near dense apartment complexes, look at storage or vending. If you're in a spread-out suburb, pest control or pressure washing probably makes more sense. If you're near a commercial strip or industrial park, vending and small property management routes tend to work. Then write down 3 specific moves, not vague goals. Search listings for one of the 6 categories in your city and note the asking prices. Call one existing operator and ask what part of the job they'd sell tomorrow if someone made a fair offer. Drive past 3 locations you'd want a vending machine or a storage lot near and just look at the foot traffic. 6 years from now, people are going to look at whoever does this and call it luck. They won't see the slow nights spent reading listings instead of chasing something shinier. You don't need to copy Dale's exact combination of vending, storage, and pressure washing. You need the underlying habit. Find the need that never goes away, keep the decision small for the customer, and own the thing that produces the cash. Do that long enough without needing it to be interesting, and you end up exactly where Dale did.